Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of paradise. Ha is for Hajj, the blessed pilgrimage. Kha is for Khatem, the seal of the prophethood given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Da is for Deen, Al-Islam, religion with Allah since time began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah, and rise for the month of Ramadan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين. It's Ramadan 1443 and we are so happy and glad and thankful to Allah to have witnessed this year Ramadan.
Allah Misbauddin, how do you feel?
I feel so happy, and I'm so happy, so happy to witness the month.
Okay, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us.
Allahumma
We don't have any other reason than to be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sparing our life till this moment.
Alhamdulillah.
And we pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us to witness much more of Ramadan on the surface of the heart.
Allahumma ameen.
And in our happy mood, we welcome you to the glorious episode of the most informative and responsive TV program on Zakat-related matters, Path to Paradise. My name is Luqman Yaqub Gawata.
I am Misbauddin Ismail. Stay tuned for the lecture segment.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Have you been looking for a new bank where interests play no role? Look no further. Lotus Bank is here to change the game with a breath of fresh air. We'll partner with you to achieve growth and success in almost every facet of your life. Experience a transparent relationship with us. Enjoy the benefits of non-interest banking, zero account maintenance fees, free debit card, 1 month free banking, zero interest on financing and ethical investments. Take that bold step now and embrace the opportunities of non-interest banking. Dial *5405# now. You may also download the Lotus Bank app on Google Play or Apple Store and begin your journey of breath of fresh air. Visit lotusbank.com. Lotus Bank. Partner. Progress. Prosper.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursaleen. Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. You are welcome back to your program, our program. Today we are going to be looking at a very specialized topic which is not giving wide publicity and which also has a very low awareness among the Muslim populace and then human beings generally speaking. What is that? We shall be looking at Waqf. That is one of the Islamic social instruments which we use to bring about socio-economic development in any community. But it is very important for me to say that Waqf is one of the Islamic instruments being used for Islamic social finance. As we all know, Islamic finance is a combination of two broad instruments. Number one, we have what we call the Islamic commercial finance, which is what mostly Islamic banks, Islamic financial institutions, Islamic capital markets, they use to kind of bring about financial activities. And when we talk about Islamic commercial finance, some of the instruments being used include what is known as murabaha, that is, cost plus contracts or a markup contract. Then we also have what is regarded as mudaraba, which is partnership. You bring part of your money and then another person or the financial institution brings part of their own resources combined together. And then when you make profits, you share profit based on agreed, percentage. And where there are losses, of course, you also bear these losses. Then we also have under the Islamic commercial finance what is being regarded as musharaka, which is, partnership, which comprises of maybe 3, 4, or 5 people as the case may be. And of course, profit will be shared based on the equity contribution of each partner. Then we also have what is regarded as istisna. Istisna is another contract whereby, it is a contract whereby a seller sells a particular, asset, which is yet to be constructed or built or manufactured, according to an agreed specification and delivered, on an agreed, future date based on an agreed predetermined, price. That is istisna. Followed by what is regarded as salam. It has almost similar feature with istisna. The only difference there is that salam is an asset, it's a contract, where the goods to be bought will be delivered in a later date, but payment will be made immediately in full. That is istisna. That is as-salam. Then we also have what we all know as sukuk. Fortunately for us in this part of the world, Nigerians have seen and they have felt the impact, positive impact of sukuk, especially with the road constructions, across the 6 geopolitical zone of this country. Sukuk basically means the Islamic, bond or bond in compliance with the Sharia principle. Then, still under the Islamic commercial finance, we have what is regarded, as what we call takafu. Takafu is insurance that is in full compliance with the principle of Sharia. That is, the Islamic takafu, share risks rather than transfer risks, to the policyholder. So these are many more are under what is regarded as the Islamic commercial finance. But the central theme of our discussion is going to be focused on the second broad theme of Islamic finance, which is Islamic social finance. Under the Islamic social finance, some of the instruments being used include, among others, zakat. And then we also have Qardun Hasana, benevolent loan. Then we also have infaq, spending in the cause of Allah. And then we also have microfinance. And then the last but not the least under social Islamic financial instrument is waqfu. Waqfu, which means endowment. Endowment may not give the correct interpretation of waqfu, but for the purpose of our discussions, for the purpose of our argument, let us limit the interpretation to mean endowment. This is the main focus of our discourse in our today's lecture and subsequent lecture that we are all going to be seeing coming our way on every Sunday by Allah's willing. So having said that, let us now quickly look at waqfu, which is what we want to center our discussion on. Waqfu has 2 definitions. We have the literary definition, and then we also have the technical definition. So among the literary definition, waqfu is an Arabic word which means which is derived from the verb waqafa, that is to stop, to stand, to restrict. So, and the plural of this term is awqaf. When it is 2 and more, it becomes awqaf. That is a combination of endowments. We are going to give further elaboration, in further series of this lecture by the grace of Almighty Allah. Having said all this with regards to the literary meaning of waqfu, let us now look at what is the technical meaning, of waqfu. I'm going to look at, 2 authorities in this regard. Number 1, we want to look at what, AOFI, that is the Accounting and Auditing Organization of Islamic Financial Institution, defines, define waqfu, in their own, understanding. According to AOFI, waqfu is regarded or means locking up of the title of an asset, an own asset, from disposition and allotment of its benefits for a specific purpose. That is how Awaifi, defined, Waqf. That is, Waqf means locking up of the title of an owned asset from disposition and allotment of its benefits for a specific purpose. That is what Awaifi, presented as the technical meaning of Waqf. Then the second authority I'm going to be looking at are the four school of jurisprudence, Islamic jurisprudence, which we call the Madhahib al-Arba'. That is the four known, school of Islamic jurisprudence, by Muslims worldwide. We are going to be looking at how each one of them, defined, Waqf. For example, let us look at the Maliki school of thought. According to the Maliki school of thought, they defined, Waqf to means i'ta'u manfa'ati shay'in. That is, giving out something. Muddata wujudihi laziman baqa'uhu fi ma'athihi walau taqdiran. The Maliki school of thought defined Waqf to means giving out something beneficial permanently. That thing can be something that is movable or immovable. Let us look at, the Hanabila, the Hanbali school of thought, how they also define Waqf. I'm giving a very brief summary interpretation of their various definitions. To the Hanabila, according to them, Waqf means tahbisu aslu wa tasbilu thamara. That is to preserve the origin, that is the original capital, and then the use of the proceed of that capital in a good cause. That is the definition given by the Hanbali school of thought. Then the third school of thought is the Shafi'iyya school of thought. According to the Shafi'iyya school of thought, Waqf means habsul malin yumkinu intifa'u bihi ma baqa'i aynihi. Meaning, to preserve a property that can benefit and at the same time keep the origin of the property from one's neck and leaving everything for the sake of Allah. So they are also saying the same thing, that you have a property which is called Aslul Mal, the corpus, the original capital, you preserve it. Then whatever that capital generates in terms of, benefit or proceed or returns on the investment of that particular item, then we use it for the benefit of the people. The last but not the least among the school of thought is the Hanafiya, the Hanafi school of thought. To them, they defined Waqf to mean habsun mamlukin an tamliki min al-ghayr, meaning holding on a property, usefully and disallowing others from claiming the ownership. That is, holding onto a property usefully and disallowing others from claiming the ownership. This is the definition that all these four schools of thoughts have given with regards to, Waqf. So we can see that from the literary interpretation or meaning, of Waqf to the technical meaning, they mean two different things. Literally, it means to confine, to preserve, to keep, but technically it means that you are using the corpus, which we call the Aslul Mal. You preserve it and then put it into an investment, put it into something useful, economic activities. Then the proceed in terms of profit or returns on the investment is what you now use to provide public good for humanity. That is the technical meaning, of Waqf from the four school of thoughts of Islamic jurisprudence. So we hope and we also have this belief that from this brief interpretation or explanation of the literary and the technical meaning, we have laid a very good foundation on which we are going to build more concepts, more terms, and more themes with regards to Waqf in our future series of discussions. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Welcome back and thanks for still staying with us. As we commence the holy month of Ramadan, one of our major projects is the memorable Ramadan, specifically meant for the widows.
How are the beneficiaries, the widows, selected? How many widows will benefit this year? What is the coverage area? And what are the package? Stay tuned as yours probably provides answers to these questions and many more.
began. That is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Okay, so what exactly is Memorable Ramadan all about?
Memorable Ramadan, as it is being called, is aimed at making the month of Ramadan a memorable period to be remembered by the widows. So it is basically focused on making widows happy in Ramadan, having realized that they don't have their breadwinner with them any longer. So to make Ramadan a memorable period for them, and invariably for their children who are also orphans. So in its full description, it is a program or a project targeted basically to benefit those who are widows and orphans in the society, to make the month of Ramadan a period to be remembered in their life by having their fast in a convenient way, having what to eat or to feed on for the month. We have a lot of intervention programs for widows, but for the month of Ramadan, this is what we do for them. Even at the end of the Ramadan fast, we consider them in our Zakat Fitri project, where we provide what we use to break their fast and enjoy the Eid with joy. Also during the Eid al-Adha, we also have an intervention program for them in which we call the Qurbani or Adoi, by which we provide meat for them for that celebration. We also celebrate widows' cause during the International Widows' Day that comes up every year, where we provide empowerment for them. So, as well as other periods of the year, at one time or the other, even for their children who are orphans, we have educational support for them. In the last 1 year, we sponsored 20 orphans in their education, paid their school fees, provide money for their textbooks, as well as feeding for the period of 1 year. We have a stipend for them. So the widows' cause is well taken care of in Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation, and we don't talk with their affairs because they are one of the vulnerable people in society, which Islam considered very, very important. Firstly, the person must be a widow. Secondly, must be an indigent person. We have some widows who are well-to-do, who even support the cause of the foundation. So, but it must be an indigent person who is in need and requires support. Then thirdly, for this period of Ramadan, person must be a Muslim, because we want to provide food for them to be able to observe the fast without challenges. That is why, as Islam has put it in place, for those who could not fast, Allah said, those who cannot fast should provide food for the fasting Muslim. So whatever we get from them as fidya is part of what we spend for the widows to provide a memorable fast period for them. So these are part of the things that qualify somebody to be a beneficiary. The concern for the less privileged, in which the widows are part, has been part of Zakat and Sadaqat Foundation activities from time immemorial. But we battered Memorial Ramadan 4 years ago, having a concentrated affairs for them, so that we can give it an attention, not just part of general concern, a specific concern in which widows are given particular concern above others. We set a target to benefit about 1,000 widows. But as events unfolds with the available resources, we hope, as we are starting Ramadan, Friday, Saturday, we hope we'll be able to cover about 500 widows. Then, in terms of the indirect beneficiaries, that is the orphans, which are the children of the widows. In addition to the widows, we hope 5,000 people will be benefiting by Allah's grace. We used to roll out letters for support towards generating funds for implementing this program. So, because for each widow, we hope to spend between 20 and 30,000 on each widow. We buy food worth about 20,000, then the remaining will be cash, so that they have something to prepare the food. So for each widow, we have a maximum target of 30,000 naira. Why I said a range of 20 to 30 is because the economy of each area differs. What you need to eat in the north is maybe quite cheaper compared to a place like Lagos or the Abuja Central and the likes. We also have international collaboration in which some people, organization and individuals in diaspora used to send things to support the widows. So far, as we are starting Ramadan, hopefully we should be able to cover about 500 widows at the start, and before Ramadan ends, maybe by mid-Ramadan or a few days after, we should be able to get more funds to give to more widows. Though we are not leaving out the indigent Muslims, but this is for the widows. Other indigent Muslims, there are support for them. Close to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 indigent Muslims will also be benefiting as Ramadan is starting, inshallah, this weekend. We are looking at, for the start, we'll be organizing this event in about 16 states. I'm aware today is happening in Kaduna, so that's his kickoff. Tomorrow it will be some other states. Most states will do theirs on Saturday, the 2nd of April. So that is what we are hoping to start, and it cut across the various states in the country: the north, northwest, northeast, north central, southwest, and the south, inshallah. Most of the states where we'll be implementing this project from today are the states where we have our officers. The 7 states where we have our admin officers. Then the other states are the adjoining states. Our officer in Edo will coordinate Delta states. Then the southwest, we have our officers there. Then the north, where we have people who are volunteer workers who work for us. So those people identify the widows based on their outreach activities that we do. Then secondly, over time that we've been having intervention, we have lists of some widows that we used to support on a regular basis. You know, some widows can't work again. So obviously those are also in our list. Then they also identify through mosque as well as their various areas. Firstly, on Memorable Ramadan for widows, we can't exhaust the widows in our support. And the number of widows that we attend to, even in our empowerment program and other activities of the foundations, the widows dominate most of our things. So we still need support to assist more widows in terms of empowerment in particular. There are those, their challenges, their children's education. So we need support, more support from people to be able to do more and assist the vulnerable people in society. Secondly, as Ramadan approaches, we have support for indigent Muslims, in which we also call for support as well. So because we'll be covering most of the prison or correctional centers in the countries, at least they will have 2 bags of rice or more. Some have more than that at the beginning of Ramadan and towards the end for the celebration, in which that food can't even go around. But this is an effort. So then the indigent Muslims that we support, like we want to do a lot of intervention in the southeast in particular. So we want to provide food for the Muslims there to be able to observe their Ramadan with ease, because the economic challenge has affected a lot of people. So many people need food as Ramadan approaches. Then lastly is that we also require that we request for people's support in terms of their zakat, as we are already meeting with applicants, those who want one attention or the other because of the challenges that they have. As of now, we have gotten requests. If I'm to value the amount, it should be more than about more than 300-400 million. Health intervention support, education, millions of naira, and the various requests. So we need people to pay their zakat to the foundation. Those who've been paying to do more, encourage their colleagues, their friends, and those who are here to be partners of the foundation, to support the foundation with their zakat as well as their sadaqah, so that we can create a social system that can give succor to people in society.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
We are glad to know that you joined us for this week's episode of the most informative, responsive television program on zakat-related matters. Always remember that at Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation, we do not discriminate nor show prejudice on religion or ethnic to our beneficiaries.
And as we wrap up this episode, please note that your donations will go a long way to put food on the tables of so many people and smiles on the faces of many families who are in their need. Kindly donate as little as you can to Zakat and Sadaqah Foundation. And do not forget to visit our website, zakatandsadaqah.org.ng. Also join us on our various social media platforms for more information on what we do and our services. We say, Ma'asalam.
Wa ila al-liqa.
Began, that is for dhikr, remembering Allah.